Okay, so we are starting. So, how many of us are writing the paper for the first time, the strategy case study? Oh, none, no one, only one. Okay, okay, we have only one so far on the page. Okay, so two. Okay, we have two. So, we all know how it is. I've displayed the formats for the strategy case, and this was last year's pre-scene. This was last die's pre-scene. And then this was what at S&D, the lecturer, I mean, approached it, how he approached it. So one thing I would say is for those researching, you again have, we have, if you are researching, we have two options. Yesterday, when we met, I spoke about it. Or I spoke about the two options we have. I spoke about them. So today we will look at it. Now, this is the structure of the exam. This is how ICA sets the questions. This document here, the ICAG, Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana Strategy Case Study format. This is all the format. This document contains all the areas they will set the questions from. This document contains all the areas they will set the questions from. So the questions, like we know, this syllabic here, which is 2024 to 2029, is 5 years. Okay, or 5 or 6 years. This 5 or 6 years, this is the format the institute is using. So it started in 2024. This format would expire in 2019, 29. 5 years. It will expire in 2029. So
Mm.
2030, they'll bring in a new format for another 5 years. So when you are writing the paper, this will be the constant format they will use, or they've been using since 2024. We are in 2026. In 3 years, this format will expire and they will regenerate another format for another 5 years.
No, no,
So for this diet or within these 5 years, this is the format they are using for strategy case. And it's 5 questions in all. 5 questions in all. So mostly what the lecturers do is they would start teaching from week one, start taking them one after the other, start taking the topics one after the other. Okay. Then when about 3 weeks or so to the final exam date or to the end of the month, right? Then the school will release the pre-scene, as you all know. For those who are writing anew or fresh, the school will release the pre-scene and we will study the pre-scene. Before we go on to the pre-scene and how we will approach it, let me first speak about the format. Now, the pre-scene which we are looking at here, this pre-scene, it's 15 pages. 15 pages. So as you know, and for those who are writing at first, the school released the pre-scene about 3 weeks to the main exams. 15. This 15, which is the pre-scene, all of the 15 from page 1 to the last page, right? 5 questions will be set under them. So the 5 questions are from question 1 here, then question 2 here, then question 3 here, then question 4 here, then question 5. So all these 5 questions, regardless of the areas, they will be set under the destiny group, the entity which will be covered in the pre-scene. So the lecturer doesn't know what pre-scene would be, what the pre-scene content would be, what industry or which company or industry the quest will be emerging from, like we know. So he will start teaching all these areas, according to the lecture notes he would share. Now, if you are reciting the paper, okay, as I said, you have two options and you have to choose one. You can register for the course again and go through the process, or you might say, maybe I've seen the terrain. So this time around, I'll sit down and I'll exhaust more time or allocate more time to the studies. Are you getting it? And maybe when it's intervention, I will join. That's your option. Or if you didn't get the concept well, it is best for you to re-register and then you go through again. Whichever way, we are all going to sit for the same paper, right? So if you are not reciting, you want to have your own personal study because you remember how the lecturer solved any question or how you attempted it. And because maybe you didn't have enough time to study, that is why you failed, implying that this very diet, when you have time, you dedicate more time to study, you pass. Then you may opt not to go in to re-register for the paper. Because here we are considering our resources, our time and attention. However, if you are not so grounded in it, right, then it means that you have to register again to understand the concept deeply. All right. So these are the areas to be covered. If I should pick next, let me try this. If I should pick um, last year's paper, last diet, let's say March 20, Icag questions, right? Icag questions and answers. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Okay. Now, as I said, ICA, sometimes most students would say the school doesn't give any areas. The institution gives, and the areas are captured within the format. The format. If you have the format, the lecturer will teach everything. The remaining will be how you would be able to align your studies with the format so you can approach the questions in exams. So now, for example, in question one, it's 20 marks in all. And the 20 marks, the questions to be set for at question one, or which will feature in question one for the 20 marks, it covers any of these topics. The question one covers any of these topics. So what I do is that in the last month or the last month before the exams, if this diet, the exam is in November, the last month before November is October. In October, immediately the October begins, first week or the first October, I start working on the format because that month is the month of revision. Okay, that month is the month of revision. So all that I do is I'll be reading. If I'm using XND lecture notes or any lecture note, or I'm using the ICA manual, the question set will fall under corporate strategy, business strategy, functional strategy, operational strategy. So if I have the S&D notes, I'll go and check which of the slides, which of the lecture notes cover these corporate strategy, business strategy, and functional strategy, and operational strategy, and I'll read on them. Like last day, the S&D notes were from lecture 1 to I think lecture 4 or 5. All of them were covering week 1, like question 1. So if you're able to read question 1 very well and detailedly, it means that any question which will fall under question 1, you should be able to approach it. That is the first thing. That is the first thing. So let's see strategic case study for March. This for March. And the case study was on Paynova. I think it's a fintech, yeah. It's a fintech institution. So let's come there and see some of the questions. We will come there. Let's see some of the questions. Now let's go at question 1. Also in exams, please don't bother to go and read this in exams or whenever you are even practice, don't read these case studies. Always read here. If you can answer the question, it's based on what the requirement is. So it says assess Paynova's current environmental, social policies and recommend improvement that will help the company build and sustain a competitive advantage. So here we are conducting ESG analysis. This ESG analysis is in the format. Question 1 is in the format. ESG is here. This is it. Please, have you seen it? Please, have you seen it? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is that all the questions, the way ICAG structures the questions, that question one, this question two, it follows after the format. So when I pick this format, I know that ICA can ask any question or question on any of the topics here. You can ask a question of corporate strategy, business, functional, operational, shareholder value, stakeholder analysis, vision and mission, balance scorecard, core values, risk appetite, Andy's culture, cultural web, laws and regulations. I know that the areas ICAG will ask the questions fall under any of these for question one. So before I go to the exams, so I have read a lot all these areas. I have read a lot on all. There are many, all right, but you can read them. You can read on them. I have read a lot on. I've read and reread, right? I have reread about twice or three times these areas. There are many, but we can still read them. I've read them and I know that definitely one of these or two or three of these areas will feature in the exam for 20 marks. And it's true. When we are done, I'll take my strategic case exam format and I'll take a picture and I'll share it in the group. You'd see that whenever I finish reading, I take it. When I finish reading, I'll take it. I finish it out. Then I do this in the last month before the month of exam. So in this diet, we'll write the exams in November, but October is the last month. So in this October, that is when I start reading. So although the lecturer is teaching, I am following what he's teaching. At the same time, I'm doing revision by reading the formats. Because by the time of October, revised most of the things he has taught. Maybe I began at the latter part of August, right? So in the latter part of October, I am reading this. I get it because the pre-scene will come in somewhere on the 15th or 3 weeks or 2 weeks to the end of October. That's when the pre-scene will be released. So I'll be able to read it. So we'll come and talk about the pre-scene. So we have to be reading all these from the notes and understand them. And the good news is that if you pick ICA manual, they don't solve past questions in it. But in the lecture notes of SND or maybe wherever you want to have your strategy case, right? Although you can still have it at SND, there are past questions attached to the questions. So if it's talking about corporate and business strategy, or let's say lecture one, you find some past questions there and how they were answered. I good. So you should be able to read all these for question one because you know that definitely any of these topics it will feature in the question one, and that's how it is. Like I'm trying to give an example here. Um, the question we looked at, that's a March 2026 paper. They said ESG. That was the first question. ESG is here. ESG is here. Now let's look at the next question. The next question says two methods of benchmarking to pain over management. Methods of benchmarking could also be somewhere else. Benchmarking methods could be somewhere else. It will be in there. Okay, benchmarking will be in there. Let me see whether I see it at the top. It will be, they will all come from the question one. Okay, methods of benchmarking. It will also be coming from the same question one. It should be in. I know it should be in. Then we go to the next one. So question one, this is 10 marks. This is 10 marks for question one. Then we have 10 more marks. 4 marks are going for benchmarking. Then the remaining 6 marks are going to what? Using the Johnson and Scholes 6-step approach. This also will be there. So 10 plus 4 plus 6 gives me the 20. And this 20 marks is for all the question one. Question one, the 20 marks. So all the questions they ask here, and there, they are all emerging from the areas. They are all emerging from the areas. The Johnson and Scholes approach is in question one. It's in question one. Okay. So there are 6 steps. So all that we are learning is that these areas we must read on are the possible areas the exams questions can feature and will or shall feature. So if I say that I don't know how they will structure, how their questions in ICA will be for strategic case, then it means that I don't really understand it. It means I'm not ready to go and write the paper, right? Because I should know that when I'm going to the exam for question one, which is 20 marks, the case study, no matter what the case study is, any of these areas will be asked in connection with the case study. So I should have that in mind. All right. Any of these areas will be asked in connection with the case study. For that one, I should know. When I move to question 2, they said these are the areas they will set the questions from. Here, most of them are like frameworks. Most of them are like diagram. Last night, they asked a question on this. Henry Maisbeck's theory. There's a 5 configuration levels, right? So if I to take you on some of the courses for us to study together, we'll be learning acronyms. I use a lot of acronyms to study. Acronyms. I use a lot of acronyms to study. So Henry Maisbeck's theory of organization, the acronym I know is SMOKE test. This is the acronym I remember, SMOKE test. Okay. So the SMOKE test, we have the middle, is there a middle line? We have the T, this is operating core, right? This is the T, this is the techno structure, and this is the supporting staff. Okay. I've forgotten this one. I think the supporting core, the staff core, something. Superior core. Strategic apex, good. I getting it. So when I write all my acronyms against the frameworks, I will never forget them. So Henry Maisbeck's theory, when it came, I remember SMOKE test. I wrote it. Strategic apex, and I even drew the diagram. When I was answering, I drew the diagram. It's like this. I still remember the diagram. That's how it is. So the strategic apex is here, right? Then the midline is here. Operating core is here. Techno structure is here. There's a diagram here. And here is called the supporting staff. So I know that question 2, definitely the questions will come from here. The topical areas from which they'll set the questions to answer the case study is from here. So I make sure I learn these ones very well. There will never be a situation where the question they will ask is not coming from the topics they've listed. Although there are many, but I know it will come from here. So I make sure I learn, and the diagram. Sometimes I don't even understand what the manual, ICAG manual is saying, or what the XNA lecture note is saying. So I'll go to AI and use AI, and I will ask AI to explain it further. Then I understand the concept very well, right? So I use SMOKE test, strategic apex, midline, operating core, techno structure, supporting staff. Very good. And the SNE lecture notes also, there are past questions and how they can be answered. Even if you don't know how they can be answered, you can refer to the past question dates, the date in which the exam was written, and look at how the examiner took it. If how the examiner is explaining is confusing, we can use another approach. We can use AI, like we treated it yesterday. So question 2, no matter what, the questions will come from here. All these areas, one or two or three of these areas will come, will be the topical areas under which the questions will be asked in relation to the case study. So let's see what we have here. So now we are going to question 2. This is question 2. This is for March. This is for March. So what question did they ask? Question 2A. Using a simple risk map, identify 4 risks and explain 3 mitigation and control measures that are needed. Okay, so this is risk mapping, 8 marks. Remember, question 2 should be 15 marks for the first part. So they are taking 8 from the 15. We'll be left to 7. So let's check whether risk mapping is in question 2. This risk management. Identification of risk, assessment of the risk impact, management of the mitigation of risk. This is risk mapping. RM. So the question they ask is in connection with this, and this is for 8 marks. So out of all these areas, which has 15 marks, 8 went to risk mapping. This is where they said the question from in March. Let's look at the next 7. Where will the next 7 go? They said, in reference to the case, explain how Peneba has managed to control business risk using the 4 basic approaches to the management of business risk. I get it. The 4 basic approaches to the management risk. Okay. And explain where mitigation or control measures are needed the most. Okay. So here too is about risk. So even here, how to manage risk. I can even choose to use the TARA framework. It's another way of managing risk. Okay, it's here. TARA framework is here. That is 4 marks. Very good. So when we come here, it's all the questions were on risk and the TARA framework. also is part. Now let's look at the C. This question is 5 marks. Recommend and justify appropriate methods for going to implement and monitor strategy. So what they chose was that this 5 marks, they didn't introduce it. They rather merged all of them into the same question, into the 20 marks. They merged all. They merged all. Yeah. So the minor strategy was like risk. This is the Tara framework stuff. So when you add all, you get the 20 marks. So the question 2, the 8 plus 4, 8 plus 4 give us 20, which will definitely come from question 2. They will never ask a question, what they've written here, they will never ask anything that is outside the areas they've given. Never. As far as I've written ICE, I'll attend the lectures all right. In October, the month before the month of exams, I concentrate on the formats. And if I have the format, I have my lecture notes, I'll pass. Because the format in the last up to the last month before the month of exams, it is the format which will be studied. So when I read a format, I go and read the lecture notes. If I have to study further, I have to go and use AI to explain it better for me. If there's a pass, I have to go and check a past question. Then I know I've done McKinsey 7S framework. Then Henry Maisberg. Then this. Then this. So I'll send my copy of the format. You don't really have time. Okay. So for strategic case study, the main focus is we have to know all these. So when I pick question 2, everything is a lot. Everything here we know. If there are diagrams, we understand the diagrams. 7S framework, McKinsey, and for me, I do the diagram, right? Then that's how we have to go about it. The questions will never go outside of this. They will be within these areas. If I should pick last 2 years, well, let me say November 2025 diet, the questions will be the same. They'll be coming from the same areas they're given. So this format is not changing for 5 years. It started from 2024, right? We are in 2026, so about 2 years or 3 years now. So until 2029, it will not change. The format will not change. So if you have the format and you already even have the lecture notes and the results are released, you realize that, oh, you didn't do well. You can even start. Or you wrote the paper, you knew, oh, this one, it will not go well. And I'll reset this paper the next day. Then you have to start studying with the format. That's what I'm saying. If you are resetting the paper, you have 2 options. You can re-register, right, to start the diet with the lectures and everything, or you can say this time around, I want to spend more time and be studying so I can have more time on my own to say, because I've understood the concept, only that I made some mistakes. Then you can settle on the format. So if it is, let's say SES, you are resetting and you feel you can study, wait well, and you wait for the pre-scene and you pass and others, okay, then you can register for one which is new. I mean, let's say new paper. Then you prepare for the SCS. You study it very well. This time, no case study. But if you have the lecture notes, you can be studying. Or you can register for the lecture notes, for the lecture, for the diet, so that you can understand the concept again. But whether you register or you not register, as I'm saying, the questions will definitely come from these areas. These areas. I'll share mine for last that I'll share my format, you would see. And I have the formats from level 1 to what's the name? Level 3, all the formats. So whenever it's the last month before the exams month, my weapon is the format. In addition to what the lectures will teach and how they will approach the questions, everything. But my weapon is the format. Okay. So please, you can even start. If you know you are going to rewrite it, you can even start again, right? Reading these pages or these topics in the lecture notes. Okay, so that's how we go about the question 1. Okay, I think I brought in, let me see this. This is November 2025. The same, they pick the questions from the areas, the same. When I'm done, I'll come and speak on the pre-scene. Okay. So you see question 1. Let's see. Using the framework provided by Johnson and Scholes. So this Johnson and Scholes came in 2025, and in 2020, March 2026, they repeated that Johnson and Scholes. They can repeat them, or they can repeat the Johnson and Scholes multiple times because the case studies are all different. So Johnson, and this Johnson School is in question 1. It's part of the areas in question 1. 10 marks. The next one, explain the value chain activities. Okay, the operation, southbound, and that the value chain activities is in question 1. The value chain, where is it? Value chain, value is in question 1. Is in question 1. They will never ask any question which was outside the question 1. Porter's 5 forces, Porter's diamond. The value chain is in there. Listen, I have to check. It's in. It's part of the question 1. The value chain is part of the question 1. It can be under after the 5 forces, the value chain will be there. It's in there. So that is one of the issues you have to look at. Let's look at the next one. This is, okay. So you could see this 10 marks. This 10 marks, 20 marks. So they will definitely pick them from 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 areas here, the topics here. So assuming you don't know any of these topics, how would you be able to approach the question? You will not be able to do it. But you know that definitely question 1 topics or question topics are from here to answer the case study. And the case studies are all different. So we'll come there. Now the question 2, definitely they'll bring it from here. But I'll be having time with you. And then even whether your lecturer has reached that side or he hasn't, when I pick it, since I have the lecture note of us and we can use it, right? Then I'll be helping with how to approach the questions and everything. We'll do that maybe when you start. Okay, so that's it here. Question 3. The topics are here. They will ask the questions right from here. Let's look at March 2026, question 3. Using the data wallet payments on the GE and Mackenzie directional metrics. Question 3. Let's check. GE and directional metrics. GE and Mackenzie directional metrics. Let's see what I will find it. Here's it. Let's check on March 2026, question 3. Okay, this is March 2026. This is where they pick the question from. What's the next one? Bowman strategic clock. Bowman. Let's check what I will find Bowman strategic clock. Bowman. Let's check. There's it. Question 3. So question 3, they will never ask any. Their questions will be coming from the topics. Let's check November 20. All right. So question 3. We have the Bowman strategic clock. Let's go to question 3. So question 3. Question 3 here. No, we are here. The Bowman strategic clock, and it's directly from the format. Let's look at November 2025. Question 3. Question 3. November 2025. 3 major differences. Identify and explain the type of organizational structure that best aligns with Texan's management style and the type that aligns with Mr. Texan's management style. The type of organizational structure. Let's see question 3. Organizational structure. Okay. Let me see whether I can get any leads to that. You see? Parenting style. So it says something like, see, the management style, and the type of organizational structure. Is it a matrix? Is it this? Is it this? So the style, this is the style the question asks on. And that was how many marks? Both 2, 2, so 4 marks. So the type of organizational structure, what type is it? Is it this type? Is it this type? And the style, these are the styles, the management style. Okay, so that's it here. That's it here. So the questions they will ask, they are just within the topics here. Here. But these are here, they are many. That's the only issue. There are many, but the questions are coming from the topics here. Let's look at the next one. It says B, requirement, 5 levels of change. 5 levels that management may adopt to ensure so what are the levels of change? It is also in question 3. It is also in question 3. It will be under one of the areas, the levels of change. When we go to question 4, it's the same. And they are using this format for 5 years. So 2024 to 2029, we are in 2026. There are about 3 years more. And every year has 3 dates. So about 15 dates. They are using it for 15 dates. Okay, so 5 years, and each year has 3 dates. So 15 dates. So if what you read, or if what I wrote last date, and I have the lecture notes, this is the same format the questions will follow. They will never change it. Question 4, the questions which will fall under question 4, the topics. The topics are these topics. Question 4 is calculation. It is the same. It will be the calculation. This time around, they brought financial statement analysis. All right. Last day, they brought, March day, they brought NPV and co, like management accounting. Okay. So you know that question 4 is always calculation. And there could be also theories. These are also theories. Okay, so we know that the questions they would ask will never be far from the topical areas they have provided. So we have to base on it, okay, and we will pass. GRN, all these are questions. For question 5, we know question 5 will be coming from these areas. These are all theories. So in fact, strategic case study is not that difficult. We only need 50% to pass. It's not that really difficult. Okay, so all these are theories. The only calculation in the entire strategic case is 4, and the 4 too is a lot. If I'm to calculate either SVA, lease or buy decisions and the others, all right, or financial ratios, that's the issue. All the others are theory. But the issue is they are going to give us a case study like this for the last diet. Destiny group was for last diet. This is a whole case study. Okay. So if you're able to get all this right before the preceding case study is released, it means that we have understood the concept. Now, when the preceding case study is released, that is when we try to know how do we approach it. How do we approach it? So let me use what the SNE lecturer used the last diet. Please pay attention. So this is 93 pages. Watch. The 93 pages here. Okay. He summarized the cases, the case study. He summarized it, and he found how many points? He found 32 points, summarizing all the key points. Now, who are the key stakeholders? Internal board of directors and the external. Then here he's asking a question on the external. So he got a requirement. Please pay attention. Now, one thing I want you to notice is this. What he was doing, right? The relevance of the mission statement and all of that, they were following the format. They were all following the format. You see, he started with, let me show you something. The vision and the mission is a question 1. So here he's talking about what? Relevance of what? The relevance of the mission statement is he's solving question 1. He's addressing some of the issues under question 1. That's what he was doing. So let's go. Sample question. Drivers of strategic objectives. Strategic objectives is question 1. Strategic objectives. Let me see whether I'll get it here. That's shareholder value is also part. Impact of stakeholder expectations, right? Stakeholder expectations or strategic objectives is also part here. So he was just answering question 1. Then the next one, the balance scorecard is also question 1. Balance scorecard is it? Question 1. Are you getting it? Then we come down, he was talking about the SEF, customer perspective, internal perspective, innovation, and financial perspectives, and how to use them to answer the question. Are you getting it? So these ones, and here, the lecturer picked it from the ICA manual. I have the manual. So he copied and pasted it here. Okay. Then he came to speak about risk appetite, which is question 1. Okay. The risk appetite here is question 1. Let's see where it is. Risk will be coming from. The risk appetite is talking about the risk levels that every firm has a level of risk it can contain. It cannot go beyond it. Okay. Now, the next one is, let's see something. What are the approaches to stakeholder mapping? So here, he was coming into the question 2. Another stakeholder mapping here. Are you getting it? So there is no way the case study which has been given, the questions which will be set on the case study, it's coming from all these topics. So the question one, if they will ask any question on the for the case study or on the case study from question 1, it will be one of these or 3 of these topics which will be on question 1. That's all that is going to be. It will be one of these question 1 topics which will be solved or asked on the case study. So the case study is to familiarize ourselves with the content, because in the exam, so we don't have so much time. So if it is the time, that's when you want to go and read everything before you answer, please, there will not be time. I read this Destiny Group 15 page document. I read it 6 times. I can show it to you. I read it 6 times before. On the very day I was even going to write a paper, I read it at dawn, around between 4 to 5. I read it about 6 times. That was the last one. So when I entered the exams room or the exams hall, I already know a lot of this. I already know a lot about this and any other thing concerning it, the industry. Why? In addition to what the lecturer has explained and the summaries he has given, I use AI. I'll show you what I did. I used AI and it was giving me, I was even preparing so many notes. Let me show you some. Watch. Uh-huh. Now, the reason why I wasn't joining most of your lectures during the class was because for me, I hardly have time. I hardly have time to join the classes. I think I prepared some notes. So I prepared some notes. I don't know where I kept it. I prepared some notes, but I don't know. It's not here. I was using charts to understand the concepts and the possible areas they can set the questions from. Not forgetting that definitely the questions will be coming. So I was using the SES format and I was using the Destiny group, right? And I was trying to understand the concept so well, right? So the Destiny group, if the preceding is given, you have to start reading it immediately. Right. First, you have to know that the industry is operating, is conglomerate. And one of the things which was helping me was that I was writing keynotes on it. This one is a conglomerate, meaning it is performing in different industries. That's the first thing. It could be in the different industries. Also, let's look at something here. The company takes sustainability very seriously. So sustainability reporting, it is called C, right? So we have social reporting, economic reporting, and environmental reporting. So they can ask questions on this sustainability. It also said that it has presence in Egypt and Morocco. So it means a multinational, it's an MNC. It's a multinational company. The headquarters is in Ghana. So those are like the key things I was highlighting. And how did I get to know them? I use AI. I use the AI to scout out the key information I need to know. What is this? And it was giving me another I was doing them by myself, right? It says the company, a Destiny Group have a workforce of highly motivated individuals who are inspired to work through training and continuous improvement. Okay, so they have a very high work. I mean, they are skilled. They don't have issues here. And it says that so why is this one a conglomerate? It's into freight forwarding. And then it has an agile security solutions to individuals and organizations, point talent, fixed base operation. It's also into real estate. It's into construction. These are all different industry. Real estate industry, construction industry, the security solutions industry, civil engineering. It's into agric. It's into salt production. So that makes it truly a conglomerate. So I want to know why it's a conglomerate. These ones will tell me. So what I'm trying to say, when the preceding is given, let's say in October 15th or 12th or so, there is a critical study. It must be read. And if you can read all for the first time, read it very quickly for the first time, then we take time and read them. We use AI to do key summaries. We use AI to do very key summaries for us. Okay, because the document is a lot. So we can use AI to do very key summaries, the key points. I'll show you how you go about it. Okay, and you have to read it multiple times. I read it 6 times. You have to read it multiple times to familiarize yourself with the content and the principles therein. The principles I mean, the principles which are in relation to the case, the question format. Are you getting it? So just for only the first paragraph, I'm getting so much points. Why is a subsidiary? The freight forwarding, what is it into? So many issues, I'm deriving them. So I definitely know that the question they can ask a question on the sustainability reporting because they've said it. They can ask a question on what MNCs do. They can ask a question on risk associated with conglomerate businesses. Are you getting it? So here too, a shipping unit of freight to obtain a career in handling is the first and only first mover advantage, right? Or competitive advantage. So the vision too, we analyze this. That is why the lecturer was examining each of the cases. He spoke about the vision, mission, and I'm pointing our attention to the fact that he was following the format. So first, from the beginning of the diet, he will be taking us through the format, the areas in the format, solving the questions, discussing them, all of them. For us to understand the concept, he will bring case studies, solve similar questions for us to see how it's applied. Then when the precinct comes, that is when we concentrate on it more. So when the precinct comes also, we have to go back to the format and now be reading. After we've read the format, we'll be reading the case study, like where I saw that. Let me give another example. See, this core business and services. It has Destiny Shipping. It has Destiny Aviation. It has Destiny Logistics. So here, what corporate strategy comes to my mind is an SBU. These are SBUs. These are SBUs, strategic business unit, because it has divisions. So because it's an SBU, my thinking was, what tools are used to analyze SBUs? What tools are used to analyze the SBUs? And I believe the lecturer will cover. During the coverage, he will let you know tools which are used to cover or analyze SBUs, strategic business units. And those tools, some of them are here. I think it's usually in question 2. Well, I think it's in question 1. Okay. Tools to analyze SBUs. Are you getting it? So that is we can talk about strategic group analysis and PESEL is for external, right? There are tools which are used to analyze SBUs, and one of them will definitely come in. I think 7S framework, Minsberg's, yeah, there are tools used to analyze SBUs. So immediately I saw this, I know it's an SBU. I'll write it down, SBUs, and I'll be asking which tools are used to analyze SBUs. If you don't know, AI can help you. I don't know why I've forgotten the notes. Let me check. Let me show you something. I prepared some strict notes so that when the time is due, we all see how we go about it. Hold on for me. I prepared some notes Um, oh, not this. I don't know. I don't know where I kept it. I don't know where I kept it. I don't know where I kept it. I should have saved it properly, and I'll show it to you. I used the AI to analyze the whole thing, and it was giving me the information. We will do the same. We'll do the same. But for now, what we have to master is that we have to get to know the contents of the questions, what the question stands for, what the question stands for. We have to get to know that. When we get to know that, then we can see how we can go about it. We can see how we can go about it. We can see how we can go about it. We need to get to know that very much. And also follow what the lecturers will teach. That is also very significant. We also have to follow what the lecturers will teach, and that will give us some advantage. That also give us some advantage. Let me check. Oh, I don't know. I don't know where I've kept it. No, I kept it. I've forgotten how I saved it. So let's continue. So that's how we are going to approach um, the questions. Okay, iPhone. The person who
Yeah,
has raised their hand.
yeah, senior.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Thank you very much for this insightful session. I took the paper this July, and four of them, and unfortunately, I didn't get case. I passed the three. But in my case, all the models that were asked, I was on top of the issues. All the models that was asked, I was on top of it, and I don't know what really went wrong. It's kind of a shock to me when I saw a few keys. Is there a special technique or anything you can see in terms of how you link the models to the case? Because when I went there, everything that was asked, literally, I knew them, but I don't know whether I got them. I got the feel because of the linkage. If you can help me with that, if there is
Yeah,
any way, like, is there any specific way? Because you can know the models, but I don't know whether the main issues is about the linking of that model to the case.
yeah. It's true. So that could also be another factor. So we have to be able to link it. We also have to be able to link it. So let's say one of the questions which was on the Herzberg's theory. Let's say that's a question I want to answer, the Herzberg's theory. And it says that using Herzberg's theory, analyze, and the Herzberg's theory is about the board of directors. So you can see here, it's about a board. So if it's about a board, what questions do you think can be asked in relation to the board? I get it. What questions can you think can be asked in relation to the board? Herzberg's theory is one, and that's coming from part two. Okay, that one is used to analyze the board structure. So Herzberg's theory was one. So when they ask the question, like the Herzberg's theory, it's on the board. So I went with my acronym SMOTES. So I can remember, and I remember the diagram very well because I drew all the diagrams on the format behind the pages. So that if this is the format for question 2, behind this page, all the diagrams for the frameworks and models, all of them, I drew them behind so that I can analyze them. And I brought in what's the name, the acronyms. So like the SMOTES is a model or a framework. How do I use it to answer this? So the S stands for the strategic core, right? Or the
Strategic
strategic
apex.
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 Good. Strategic apex. This strategic apex, who are they referring to? The topmost, the
The
board.
top
It's talking
manager.
about the board itself. So when you are explaining it, like the strategic apex is talking about the board, when we are explaining it, we have to link it to the case of destiny. That is also another part. We have to link it to the case of destiny. We have to link it to the case of this. So the strategic apex, this is the board level, or this is the top management level of the organization, comprising the board of directors. In the case of Destiny Group Limited, the board of directors consists of very experienced and highly skilled and professional individuals managing the affair with diverse experiences and diverse qualification. So I've taken this, as I've spoken about the strategic apex, what it means, and I've linked it to the case study. So that's how, like you are saying, that's how it should all be done. Sometimes you may be writing and you forget yourself that you have to link it, but you have to find a way to link it somewhere into the case study. And to link it into the case study means that we should be able to know, for example, if it's a strategic apex, I must know that strategic apex refers to the board, and I must know who and who constitute the board of Destiny Group. So when I'm writing, I'll be linking who and who constitutes the board into the the narrative which I'm writing. Not that I'll just say concerning in relation to Destiny Group, the board of directors. That's a board of directors. No, 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 no. I'm not linking the word because I have to talk about the diverse professionalism in the board. There are people with diverse backgrounds, the CEO, the executive chair, they have this, they have this. That is how the linkage should be. That tells that I've actually read the case study, and I know the case, I know the information, I know the business, what the business is about. So you have to read it multiple times. Like the way the lecturer was saying that it says own it. It says own the case study. I never had the time to watch live sessions. I always watch recorded sessions. Okay, it says own it, like have command over the case study. So when you are writing, even if you want to make reference, you know where to find what, because you've read it, you've read everything. So when you are answering it, we can link it properly to where it's supposed to be linked, citing some of the examples in the case study. So like the strategic apex, this talks about the top management or the board of directors of the organization who are responsible for strategic decision making or strategic decision making. In the case of Destiny Group Limited, its board of directors, led by the non-executive chair, Jane Asante, is a professional, has diverse experience, and all the others have this, the CEO, COO, telling that I've actually read it. That's why I'm able to cite, or that's why I'm able to link the strategic apex condition or circumstance to the case study of Destiny. So if there is no proper linkage, but we are just answering the questions because we know them, then there's a problem. They will not give us the mark. Let's look at what the examiner said in this November, right? November 2025. Let's see the examiner's comments. I always read them to know the strengths and weaknesses. So here, performance of, yeah, please hold on. Please hold on. Performance of candidates. The overall performance of candidates in this sitting was notably weaker compared to the July 2025 examination. Given that the questions were set to the standard expected for the strategic case study, it was anticipated that the candidates would maintain or improve upon their previous performance. Unfortunately, this expectation was not met. A recurring concern is the persistent lack of adequate preparation among candidates. Despite repeated emphasis in previous examiner reports on the importance of thorough preparation, many candidates continue to approach the examination without sufficient engagement with the syllabus contents. The syllabus content is the format. See, it says that many of them approach the question without acknowledging or without giving, without sufficient engagement. They don't use the format. They don't use the syllabus. The syllabus content is the format. They don't use it. Because if we use it, we know that this question is coming from here. Then we'll be able to link it well. This trend is clearly reflected in the poor performance recorded in this paper. That's what he said. Let's look at some of the strengths and weaknesses. Regarding the paper, the strength, most candidates were familiar with Michael Porter's value chain analysis. Yeah. And the Benz and Salker's model of contingency theory was generally well applied by the candidates to the management styles and approaches of Mr. and Mrs. Texan. I get it. So they answered it, but they were able to apply it to solve a situation. Let's look at the weaknesses. candidates demonstrated a significant lack of knowledge regarding the range of strategic decisions an organization can make and the application of the EWL, as outlined by Johnson and Scholes. Majority of candidates exhibited no understanding of the BCG. Furthermore, an overwhelming number of candidates were unable to explain the 6 principles of strategic positioning relating to McPorter's generic competitive strategies. Surprisingly, candidates were unable to discuss the levels of change. And see, all these issues are coming about because they don't pay attention to the format. Like the examiner is saying, the format. Because if you know the format, and we say that according to the format, we will know where the words are emerging from. Okay, let's see. They usually say something. That's what I'm searching for. Okay, given that the strategic case study is the final paper at level 3, it's expected that candidates possess a thorough understanding of fundamental FM concepts, NPV and co, including various types of debts. Okay. Additionally, candidates were unable to apply the 3 components of foreign currency. They usually state something which I just want to stress on. Let me check whether it is here. So one of the things they usually comment on, okay, performance of candidates. Let's see. The overall performance of candidates in this setting showed a noticeable decline compared with the November examination. Although the question sets were fully consistent with the expected standard for the SES, it was expected that candidates would at least maintain, if not improve upon, their previous performance. Regrettably, this expectation was not realized. What do they mean by the standard? The standard is the format. They always set the questions according to the standards, according to the format, the syllabus. So if students or we are unable to, if we are unable to see that always the question will follow the format, we will not be able to approach it very well. So that is one of the parts. 2, it says, a persistent concern remains the inadequate level of preparation demonstrated by many candidates, despite repeated emphasis in earlier examiners' reports on the importance of, please here, note this, the importance of comprehensive study and active engagement with the syllabus. The syllabus here is the format. The syllabus here is the format. If we are not getting it right, it's because we are not getting the format right. All right. And the linkage. For linking, it is very easy because, for example, if I have actually familiarized myself with the content of the case study, like which the lecturers will always say, the only issue now left is how would they put the question? How they will put the question, Kweku, how they will put the question is based on the syllabus. There's the syllabus. This is here. Syllabus is here. This is the syllabus, which is the format. So now I've read all the case study. How would they put the question? How would they frame the question? How would they construct the question? I can't tell about that. So how they can frame the question or construct the question is based on the syllabus. And if you look at what the lecturer did with this from S&D, he has given a summary of the case here, right? And 2, he was solving some of the questions, how we can use the syllabus, that is the formats or the questions or topics in the format, to approach the destiny questions. Very good. He will take the issue, explain it like this. Drivers of strategic objective. He will explain it. When he explains it, he comes to give a sample question, the way, a simulation of how the question can be asked. Identify and explain based on the balance scorecard, the 4 aspects of perspectives of performance. For each perspective, identify 2 performance indicators. Very good. Then he will come here and you answer, showing us how the question, like simulation, how it can be answered. So no matter how we solve the question, like our brother said, we should be able to link it to the case study. Because it's like we are doctors and we are in the consulting room and a patient has come to us that, doctor, my head is aching me. If it's just my head is aching me and I'm prescribing a medication, I must prescribe a medication which can treat the headache. But if I just prescribe a medication and I don't know whether it may or may not be able to treat the headache, I mean, I'm not doing my work well. I'm not being professional. So it's the same issue here. If you are even into consulting and the business will come with a 30-page document about the issues affecting the business, I have to give solutions and relate it to the unique circumstances of the business I'm dealing with or for which I'm doing offering the consulting services. So that is also one of the things. You must always link it. Sometimes, due to the time and speed, we may be in a hurry, but we shouldn't forget to link it. And because we don't have so much time in exams, the school presents the pre-scene in advance so that we can familiarize ourselves with the content so much. Like I said, I read mine 6 times. Six times. First, I read everything. I'll pause, and I'll be using the AI to do summaries, find out some. I'll show you some of the things I did. I get to understand the concept. And also, when I sat down, some of them I could know. Sustainability I know they can ask a question of sustainability reporting. And I'm going to write on C, social reporting, economic reporting, environmental reporting. Is the first and only. This is a competitive advantage in the industry. If it is relating to other markets in West Africa, it has let's say a comparative advantage if it's related to other African countries. It was the first in West Africa, right? So, okay, they can ask a question. Then their vision and mission, I have to analyze it carefully. Core business and services, these are destiny group. So if they ask on SBUs, these are the SBUs I'm going to write on. And what tools can be used to analyze the SBUs? There are tools there to analyze the SBUs. Okay, like the IR metrics. IR metrics is one of the tools. It's in question 3. Is it question 2 or question 3? IR metrics. Those question 2 matrices where we draw the diagrams, they are all used to analyze SBUs. I think it's question 3. They are here. The integration and responsiveness, these are all SBUs. They are used to analyze SBUs. Very good. The integration metrics, the EPRG, that one is for the nature of the business. Is it ethnocentric or whatever? Those are some of the stuff. So when we read through, these are also some of the SBU matrices. Okay. So when we read it, we will be able to identify where exactly the questions are coming from in advance. And I'll show how we can use the charts to do something. Let me see. You see, IR metrics. Now, when we come here, destiny group, this is about the board of directors. So they can definitely ask a question on the board. So when I saw the smooth test, I wasn't surprised because I know smooth test is under question 2, and the smooth test 2 is used to analyze board issues or organizational structure. Remember, they're talking about highly skilled employees. They're talking about highly skilled employees. They're talking about management levels, and the business is also expanding. They're talking about supporting staff. So when they ask smooth test, I wasn't surprised because I'm expecting it because it answers organizational structure and the board of directors. Okay. And this board of directors, there were no issues about any of them. None of them had any issue. The board of directors, they were all good. So there were no issues here. So sometimes they could be like the one board of director from the narration or the definition of the profile of the board of director, he's incompetent or he's not qualified. We will see it there. Then when it comes to the business growth, so what are the business growth strategies? We can go with the ANSOS metrics. We can go with the BCG metrics. Those are all business growth strategies. So when you see my paper, I've written most of the metrics on it because when it comes to business growth, how did I know? I used AI to just give me some of the possible metrics. So let's say I'm offering business consulting services, and someone comes to me, oh, my business is suffering from this, my business growth is very poor for this past, this. The tools which will be running through my mind are the ANSOS metrics, BCG metrics, and other matrices. So when I want to analyze it, I just have to be using ANSOS metrics to analyze the business growth. Okay, that's it. That's it. So please, any question? Any question? Here too, we have CSR. Okay, quick moment. We have CSR. So immediately we see CSR, we know they can ask a question on corporate social responsibility. So we prepare for it. They've built multiple schools in Northern Region Ghana. So I'm expecting that they ask a question on CSR because there's a question on CSR and it's also in the format. CSR is also in the format somewhere. Corporate social responsibility. Let me check. It's in. I don't know where exactly it is, but it is in. It is in one of the areas. It's in. Corporate social responsibility is part of the areas. It's in. I have to take time to look at it, but it's in. Are you good?
Hello, Phil.
So, yes, sir.
I just want to add the contribution.
Okay.
I've already gotten the case study, but I wanted
Okay.
to share my experience writing it, this diet.
Okay. Okay. Kindly share.
So when it comes to some questions, it is clearly that you can link them to the case. There was this question under, was it Porter five forces or SWOT? One, I think Porter five forces.
Yeah, yeah. That was match diet.
No, which one came this diet? It wasn't SWOT.
Okay. You kindly go on.
Pestle,
Uh-huh.
pestle.
Pesto, yeah, thank you, thank you. So with the personal analysis, the data or the facts in the case, you can clearly link it to the questions when you are solving. But there are some that it looks like you just have to copy and paste what is in the slides. There's no you can link it to the case, all right, but you just have to provide the concepts more or
Yeah.
less true and poor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when it comes to the corporate governance question, so that's the last question, question number 5. With those ones, so you can clearly link them. I remember I was
Yeah.
able to link the corporate governance, the pestle framework, and when it
Yeah.
came to the calculations, question number 4. With those ones, you will not even get time to even link it to the case. Or
Yeah.
you just put the calculations there and then you are gone.
Yeah.
That was one thing I wanted to share.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So please, it all boils down to this format. As far as I've written ICA, as I'm telling you, having attended the lectures, or if I should attend the lectures, which is good, I need what the lecturers will teach me to understand the concept. I do a lot of work on my own also, right? And for example, the exams will be written in October. The exams will be written in November. In the month of October, I'm on the format. I'm doing revision on my own. At the same time, I am following what the lecturer is teaching also in October in preparation for the mock, in preparation for the what's the name, the intervention. Me, I've never written any of the mocks before because I don't have the time. I get it. And maybe by the time the examiner will set, the lecturer will set the mock, I've not even covered most of the things he has already taught. And the mock comes in the October month. And in that month before the exams, I don't remember ever taking part in the mock, right? But then I make sure in that month the format or the syllabus is my target. And then that month I'm reading the format. Even if I've revisited what the lecturer has already taught before, I'll go back and revisit it because of the format and read the format and analyze the form. It's a lot of work. It's a very much lot of, because I don't know where the questions are emerging from. But the syllabus, like the examiner has said, the syllabus or the format, students don't study according to the syllabus. That's a weakness. And if you check most of the comments, all the papers, they write that. They don't follow the format. They don't follow the syllabus. And there's the syllabus, the format. And when it says it is always up to standard, it means it follows it. It follows every topic. You know, question 1, these are the questions that can be asked in relation to the case study. We know. So I'm expecting that CSR will be there. And truly, there was a question on CSR. They said you should write a letter or a report or a memo to the CEO or something about the importance of corporate social responsibility. It was part of the questions. So in writing the report, you have to tell what it means, whatever, whatever. And the question came from corporate. So there will definitely be question coming from this area. And I'll prepare for it. The logistics business. This is one part of it. It was a conglomerate. So this one part of its industry, the logistics, and that's the main one. Then plus the real estate and the others. So the inbound logistics. So you could even ask a question on value chain analysis. Are you getting it? So that's how it is. And one of the things which helped me, let me share it with you. Let me use Gemini. Hold on. Let me use Gemini. Please watch. So this is for when the pre-scene. I wanted to share this when the pre-scene is released, but I don't know. Maybe I may not have the time, or I may have the time. I like using Gemini a lot. So please watch what I'm going to do. So here, I'm going to upload the format, SCS format. So watch, I'm uploading it. Okay, I'm uploading the SCS format. You can use this. And then the pre-scene, I'm going to upload a pre-scene. Where is it? Now, this is a pre-scene. So I've selected both of them. Icag pre-scene case study. They have been uploaded, right? So, for example, so that you can read all the entire thing and we are getting confused. We're getting confused. You can use ChatGPT. Yesterday, I did say that we have there are so many AIs. We have ChatGPT, which is by OpenAI. They came up with it. We have Claude, which is by Anthropic. We have Grok. This Grok is for Elon Musk. Gemini is for Google, right? We have Perplexity, right? This one is for when I'm preparing projects or dissertation or thesis for the masters, I use the Perplexity AI, this one. So you can use any of them. You can use any of them. So the Gemini, this is for Google. So I've uploaded a pre-scene and the format. So I'm going to tell as an as an ICAG examiner, right? Review the Icag pre-scene documents and the SCS formats. I'm telling the AI to examine both documents. Link, right? The or states, let me put it there. States all possible questions. That's all possible areas or topics that can, right, fall under each question in the SCS format document. So I'm telling you that if you should look into state all possible topics from the ICAG pre-scene documents that can fall under each question in the SCS format. So when I use this one, it gave me the picture. It gave me possible ways the question could be asked, right? So if the AI will examine it will read the entire document, the pre-scene, and then it would also examine all the format or the syllabus, and it will be giving me, based on the format or the syllabus, it will be giving me possible questions which can be asked under them. Let's say this can be asked under this can be asked under this, and it will help me to study, right? So don't do anything else. Let's see what it will do. You can use ChatGPT. You can use that. Let's see. So question 1, 20 marks. Here is a comprehensive mapping of all possible exam topics derived from the Destiny Group pre-scene document, mapped directly against the mandatory structure of the SCS format document. Question 1 is 20 marks, strategic analysis. So it has examined it, and it will give me all the areas, one after the other, to give me all for the 20 marks, right? Application, the mission. So they can ask all these questions, and they will cite them. So it will let my studies be very easy to do. Are you getting it? It will move to question 2, 15 marks. Please, do we get it? Please, do we get it? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. if you want a summary, we can just say that let's say in 200 words, summarize the Icag pre-scene, right? Icag pre-scene documents, right? In relation to the format. Or let me say, you should just summarize it in 200 words. And if the whole document is a lot, I can't study it. It should summarize in 200 words for me. It will just summarize everything. So here, we will just, in 200, it has summarized the entire document in 200 words. This is everything it has said about the document. So when I have this in mind, I can then go, and you can see that it is making reference to the PDF, the first one, PDF, the format, PDF, the second, the PDF, the second one. So it will summarize everything for me, and I understand. So when I understand it, now I'll begin to read the documents. Are you good? And you can use the chat. It will explain, put all of them for you. If you want it to explain further, you just give the prompts. It will explain it further for you. One of the other things I did was I copied the link of the ICAG, and then I asked chat to go and look at it and give possible questions, possible past questions, which fell under this kind of case study. And it was giving me a lot of past questions, and the way the examiner was approaching it, that was how I was trying to study more of it, because it's not just writing, passing, and going. Because I want to be practical. In the event I'm resolving a business issue, which tools do I need? So maybe you may not go to the extent which I went, but then you'll be able to do it. But for me, because I'm always looking at myself, let's say consulting to business consultant, advising businesses, I need to understand a whole lot. So right now, if it's a business, someone should bring a business and has issues, I'll know how to analyze it and advise the business owner or the management as what to do. Are you good? You may not go to that extent, but we can't afford to do away with the format or the syllabus. We need it. And then the pre-scene. When the pre-scene is given, kindly do well to post it in the group. We are doing it together. So then I'll have time and I'll use AI. We'll do it together online, and I will analyze it. Then we'll begin to study across it in accordance with the format. In accordance with the format. And when the lecturer also comes to teach, he's also going to use the format to answer all the questions. The format. And that's what I was trying to show. He's also going to use the format. So why wouldn't you maybe start earlier reading it? And we are trying to look at how we can use the format to answer the case studies. Or we will learn it alongside the format. Because all these, he's trying to answer the questions based on the format. I get it. Menlo stakeholder power matrix is also from the format. It's in there. So all these are the questions or the topics he's deriving from the format. Answer the case study. How, as a simulation, how the examiner may be, or how the examiner may ask the question to answer it. The last thing we will talk about is the speed writing. If we are able to read the case study multiple times and familiarize with the content, when it's exams time, when it was exams, I never read this destiny. I didn't read it again because I have all the information in memory. I have all the information. I know what is this. When I even look at the topic, I know what it is. To introduction, I know what it's talking about. Core business, I know what it's talking about because I have, Destiny Group Board, I know who they are. I have all the ideas. I have the content. Business growth, I know what everything here is about. Are you getting it? So when during the case study or solving the question, when I look at just the topic, I know what it's talking about because I've read it multiple times, like 6 times. I've used AI to summarize, done a lot of detailed analysis on the documents. So when answering, because sometimes the difficulty is we are answering the question and we're also referring to the case study to find the answers. That one, it will take a lot of time. So when we know the content and we are writing, we just have to be linking it up. So we have to master the content so much well that we know them at our fingertips. Are you good? So please, any question, anything anyone wants to say? Morrison.
Okay, Senior, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I understand you clearly, in substance, if I should understand the story of the case, and maybe in the event of me linking it to a particular question, since I understand the case of head, probably I need not to pick up verbatim from the case, but however, I can just buttress my point with my knowledge per the case. Is it allowable? Or
Yes. That's it.
okay,
That's it.
okay. But if
So,
I know where there is a particular story in the case, I can just go and pick it up. It's also allowed, right?
oh yes. Yes, you can
Okay.
even be quoting and it's okay. It's okay.
I think some of us, my problem is the speed. I actually see that to be a key challenge.
Yeah.
Because I noticed in the exams for the moment at the time they said 1 hour is far gone, I was now going to question two or so. So,
Oh, okay.
so in that
Yeah.
case, you will see me like you know the thing, but it's just like you are struggling to, I mean, suit yourself within the time frame, and
Okay.
that could be one problem.
So one of the things is that in the exam, so we are not under any obligation to start from question one. So let's me play this case study, for example. I'm in the exam, so they dropped this question before me. Already, this is a case study. I read it about 5 times or 6 times, whichever time I've read it. I've understood whatever. I don't even come and look here again. The next thing is because when they present this case study, let me use the destiny, for example. See where it ends. It ends on the financials, and I know these financials are for question 4. I know these are for question 4 straight. These are for question 4. So in the exams hall, what are they going to bring? They are going to bring the additional information and the questions. Those are the remaining, they are going to add up to this case study so that I'll go and write the paper. So in this strategic case study, they've given this March 2026, they gave this pen over. So if they give the pen over, where does the question start from? The moment. It will end here. It will end here. This where it ends. How many pages? So let's say it's about 18 or 15 pages. Okay. So it starts from the top. This is where it ends. In the exams hall, they are going to bring the additional information here and then the set of questions starting from question 1. That's what they are going to do in the exams hall. They will just bring the additional information in question 1. So they've already given the case and all the issues. I've done my analysis and everything. Now, when they bring it in the exams and they said 15 minutes to start work, all that I need to do is I'll start reading from the additional information. I'll read this one first. When I read my additional information, because this is what I don't know. This wasn't part of the case study. When I read my additional information first, following that, I come and read the question. The question 1, as I said, don't read this. We don't have time to read these things. Come and read the requirements. Here. Question 2, don't read this. We don't have time to come and read all this plenty grammar. Come and read the requirements. Here they are 2. Come and read here. If you can solve the question, it's the requirement. Come and read the requirement. So after the additional information, come and read the requirements. Question 2, don't read this, people. We don't have time for them. Come and read the requirements. Question 3, don't read this. Come and read the requirements. Question here, don't read this. Come and read it. So within the 15 minutes, I would have read all the questions and I know what they want already. And based on the questions per the requirement, I know which ones I'll start with first. Which ones will go next? Which one, the best I can solve, that one will be my first question. If it is question 5, I can start solving first. I'll go with question 5. Then if the next question is question 3, that's when I can solve a bit better. I'll go with question 3. So assuming the question 3 is what I want to start with first. And the question 3, when I read this G. Mackenzie directional policy matrix, I was confused. But I realized that the Bowman strategic clock, I can easily remember and do it. in the question paper, I'll start with question 2B first. Then the question 2A, 10 marks. I shall write on this. I'll leave about 2 pages for the question 2A. So this is question 2B. I'll answer this one first. That's my first question. Then if I'm not so sure about the 2A, I'll leave it. And I'll go to, sorry, this is question 3. So I'll start with question 3B first. If question 3A is the issue, I'll leave it out. And I'll leave about, it's 10 marks. I'll leave about 2 pages for the question 3A. Then I'll move on to the next. Let's say question 4 is the next. And question 4, I can do the financials. I just come and do the 4A. If the 4B is an issue, 3 key elements of an effective working capital liquidity management. If question 4, if the B is an issue, I'll just do the A. 6 marks. I'll leave a page or half a page for the B. Then I'll move on to the next one. Zamoshi, please, do you get it?
Very well, sir.
Yeah.
So
So,
ideally, I think I did something like that, but I think the difference is the preambles. They held me back because literally started with question 5, moved to question 4, then I
okay.
think I jumped to question 2,
Okay.
in that order. But like the difference here is the preamble, like the gist you've given me there. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
will be very
Yeah.
helpful.
So don't always, within the 15 minutes, you can make a determination of which questions you should answer, which one is easier, which one is difficult, which one need more of your time. And you just write them. Let's say if question 5 is the first one, I write question 5. I'll solve this one number 1. This will be my first question. Then question 4. Let's say question 3, like you are saying, will be my number 2. Let's say question 4 will be my number 3. Then that's it. And we know which one. So within the 15 minutes, don't ever read the preambles or the scenarios they're giving. Read all the requirements. And the one you can first solve, let's say if it's question 5, I can first solve. I'll start solving the question 5, let's say AI, the 2 rules. I'll be writing the answers on the question paper. If I come to II, the requirement, how Pennovers good board committees, whatever, I already know the details. I'll not go and read. I'll just start writing the answers here within the 15 minutes. So I'll write short answers against all of them. Once it says start work, immediately I pick question 5, 1, I'll start moving. So so far as I've written ICA, in fact, I touch all the questions. I touch everything. It was CR, and the CR, like I was explaining yesterday, I didn't touch the ratios. It was 15 marks. So when I let the exam, so I know that I'm going to cry over. I'm struggling for 85 marks. So my work, instead of being marked over 100%, I know it was being marked over 85% because the financial ratios, I didn't touch it. But all others, I touched them. It was 85%. And when the results came, I had 54. So assuming I had time to have dealt with the financial ratios, and I got something like, let's say 7 over out of the 15 plus 54, that's 61. But I didn't type this because I realized when I take it, 1, the time, and 2, I needed to read some few others and make corrections. I get them. So I had 54 over 85% because I know 15 was out. Therefore, we must also concentrate on the speed and ensure you can touch all the 5. So this CR was, this I think question 4. Question 4 is the ratios, right? And the A is 15 marks and the B is 5 marks. So I was able to type the B, which was the 5 marks. And then 15 marks for the ratios itself because of the time, right? So exams, we must try to touch everything. We must try to touch everything. And if you're able to touch everything, that we can get 50 marks. We can get the 50% we need. And that means we have to start practicing on our speed. We should be able to touch everything, link it to the case study. If you're able to touch all the 5 questions, the 50 marks is assured. But if you're able to touch about 4, and we get about, let's say, 30, 48, they will not even, or we touch only 3 or 4 and get 48, they will not even pass. They may not even pass the student. But if you're able to touch all the 5, and they look at the volume of work you've done, touching all the 5 questions, and you even got 48, the examiner can add a 2 marks for you to let you go through, to give you 50%. So that's also another angle we have to look at, the speed. So we can practice on our own how to write speedily, quickly. We can be practicing on that also. That will help. Okay, so please, any other? Any other? Okay. So I think we've discussed all that we need to discuss. When for reading through the case study, as in reading through the syllabus, when the lecture starts, I wouldn't come in so much to talk about it. I mean, we may not have a class on that, but when it's getting nearer to the what's the name? The October. Let's say when we get to October, then I'll come in. We start with the past questions. We can be using still the destiny group. We pick the destiny group. Then we'll be talking about how do we approach it. We read the requirements. How do we approach it? Then we go and look at the format. Then we'll approach it. So how to approach it is also another issue, and how we can link it. So that's where we'll start the discussion part. So when the lecturer starts with the teaching, that's one we have to, because first, especially for those who are new to it, we have to first familiarize yourself with the concepts, with the principles, right? Well, without the principles, we cannot we cannot give a solution to the business problems. Okay, so we can begin when we begin the lectures, we're going to go through all the principles here of the strategic case study, strategies to solve the business issues, all of them, the principles. So by October, you've gone far, and please don't wait till October before you start doing revision. No. We have to immediately, if we are resetting and we've registered to rewrite the paper, we have the lecture notes, so we can even start reading before the lecture will begin. If you are not going to register for the rest, but we know we can prepare on our own and join the intervention and go and write the paper, then that is also okay. We can also go by the same approach, study on our own with the format, the syllabus, read it alongside, see how we can use it to solve the issue. If you are confused, you can just give it to chat, AI. It will simplify it for you. Then you'll be able to go through. So when it's October, I'll come in. Then by that time, we've covered a lot of the principles. So when I come in, I bring the destiny group case study. How do we approach the question? How do we solve it? All right. We go for, let's say, March 2026. This is a case study. Maybe we can give a time. Let's all read it. When we read it just once, when we come, how do we go about it? Then gradually, when it gets nearer to the exams, or when it's getting nearer to the middle of the month, and they release the preceding, we also meet online. Then the way I was using the AI to analyze it, we use the AI to analyze it. In addition to what the lecturer will do, because what the lecturer will do is not anything different from the syllabus. It's just in line with the syllabus. But he is trying to link it to answer the case study, how he believes or how he suppose the question may be asked, like a simulation exercise. All right, please, anything else? We end. Okay, so if there's nothing else, then we will end here. And those who don't have like the lecture notes, if you need the lecture notes in advance, I can share them with you. Then you may even start reading before the class or lectures will begin next week. You may even start reading before the lectures starts next week. If you also have them, you can also start reading before the lectures will begin. Because in October, it's a pressure month. The lecturers will be finishing their lessons in 2 weeks. The third week is mock. I think in 2 weeks, and that 2 weeks they'll be bringing in the mock. The third week is about the mock, and maybe if the month has 4 weeks, the third week is about the mock and maybe intervention. Then the last week, which is the fourth week in the month, will be for revision for the student's personal study. The following week is examination. So with this month of October, let's see when they will start the examination. This month they may start the examination maybe the second week in October, maybe they may start in the second week of October. So there could be enough time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 weeks before the exams in September. So we could have some time. All right. So is there anything to add or to any contribution or concerns further?
Thank you very much. We are grateful.
All right. Thank you, sir. So I'll share the link. I've recorded it. I'll share it in the group for those who want to revisit it, and we'll see how to help. All right. Have a good night.